So the third story is very, very interesting because it's about Jordan B. Peterson. And if you guys aren't familiar with Jordan B. Peterson, most of you are. He's an intellect. He's like the top intellect, one of the highest paid bright minds who goes around the country, makes videos, sometimes goes on the news, and basically talks about psychology. He's very, very honest and accurate. You know, he says basically that modern day leftists are very extreme and that they don't actually care about equality because they don't want equality of opportunity, they want equality of outcome. With this like communist ideology, they want 50% men here, 50% women here. They want to take from here and give here. They want to make you do this, make you do this. So it's not true liberalism or equality. It's like fascism and totalitarianism. So that's why Jordan Peterson got famous, and he's, you know, I'm guessing a multi-millionaire now off of his intellect, which I'm not knocking his net worth or whatever it is. I'm just saying he's doing very, very well, basically fighting radical leftism. That's what he does. So one of the weirdest things of the week was Jordan Peterson really dropped one of the biggest hypocritical statements that he's probably ever made, and a lot of people noticed. I mean, pretty much everyone was coming down on him, and I'm not one for mob rule against him, but I mean, it was one of the weirdest and worst things he's ever said. So I have it all written down. That's why I went to get my notebook. So it started when Jordan Peterson retweeted a big thread of like an anti-Kavanaugh person, and he said, if confirmed, Kavanaugh should step down, which is very, very weird because Jordan Peterson's whole life has been him not stepping down to the radical left and him fighting them at universities, on college campuses, all over in his daily life. So for him, it's okay to fight radical leftism. So, but for Kavanaugh, he thinks Kavanaugh should step down because I don't know why. So first he said, if confirmed, Kavanaugh should step down. And a lot of people were like, Jordan, what are you talking about, bro? And then he kept, so there's 4 tweets that he kept kind of like explaining himself. And I'm going to be honest, as a fan of Jordan Peterson, it wasn't making any more sense. And it makes me very skeptical as to what he's really thinking. He said, I'm not sure that it's the right move. It's very complex. But he would have his name cleared and a figure who might be less divisive would move forward. So Jordan Peterson says, you know, Kavanaugh should step down and his name would be cleared and then maybe a less divisive figure would move forward. First of all, Jordan Peterson's totally wrong about that. I'm sorry. His name wouldn't be cleared. His name is forever tarnished. I mean, they basically made it so anything he tries to do, coach basketball, go eat in public, it's hard to do. Even if he stepped down tomorrow, tens of millions of people now have vitriol towards Brett Kavanaugh off of the media narrative around it. So his name will never be cleared. His legacy is fine, I'm sure, but it's not like, oh, he goes away and his name's going to be cleared. No, people know exactly who he is. So Jordan Peterson's wrong about that, and his reasoning is a less divisive figure might move forward. So that's like at Jordan's university, that's like telling him to step down as a professor. Well, Jordan, no, I know you might have not done anything wrong, Jordan Peterson, but you know, maybe you should step down from professor and let someone else come in that's less divisive than you. So the hypocrisy here is just weird, especially from someone as intellectual and honest as Jordan Peterson. So then he re-explains himself again because the first 2 times it wasn't really making sense. And he said, that might decrease residual alienation from the left and make things less polarized moving forward. Of course, there has to be a balance against handing any victory to believe all accusers crowd. So his reasoning now is, well, that might decrease residual alienation from the left and make things less polarized. So Jordan Peterson thinks Brett Kavanaugh should step down because that might make it less polarized and that might not alienate the left. Jordan Peterson has literally toured the country, wrote best-selling books, and been a multi-millionaire intellectual by not giving in to the radical left, by not worrying that, oh, maybe if I don't say this, it might decrease residual alienation and it might become less polarized. He's literally made a career on not doing that. He's literally made a career on saying, I don't care if it's a little divisive to you. I don't care if it's polarized. I'm not saying that pronoun. I'm not following along to the radical left agenda. I'm not going to let free speech be destroyed, and I'm not going to have my career be ruined just because you want to make me feel that way. But when it comes to Brett Kavanaugh, for whatever reason, Jordan Peterson thinks he should step down because maybe it might make things less divisive. I mean, he really lost me here. I'm just being honest, and I'll get into stuff after this. And then he tweeted again at the end. He said, "I was just thinking all this whole he actually had a typo. I was just thinking this whole trying to plot out a strategy that would be least I can't even read what I wrote. Something on the whole. Sorry. And I'm not jumping down claiming to be correct. Thought is experiment, not reality." So he kind of backtracked at the end because like all of his fans, like literally everybody who likes Jordan Peterson, they like him because he doesn't give in to the radical left, especially when they're not making sense. So when you literally hold yourself to these standards, but when it comes to Brett Kavanaugh, you throw him under the bus, it is a little skeptical, and he was losing. Of course, he's not going to lose all support or anything. I'm not like throwing Jordan Peterson under the bus. I still appreciate what he's brought to the world, and I don't expect him to agree with me, but I get that he's thinking out loud, and I get that he's feeling this way. It just really raises questions, like, who is this guy? And I'm not, like I said, I've always trusted Jordan Peterson. I've always gone to bat for him. A lot of people try to say he's not a real conservative or a Republican, and I don't think he claims to be, kind of like me. He doesn't say he's a big conservative or anything. A lot of people like Alex Jones said he's a fake Christian conservative who's just on the mainstream to basically like soak up all the attention, but he's not the real deal. And I even tried to dispel those sort of stuff where I was like, that's not true, man. Jordan Peterson just is more interested in psychology. He's not really interested in politics. And I do think that's true. And it still might be the case. But I just find it very odd, similar to, just to be quite honest, and I'm just giving my piece. I show a lot of love to people. Yesterday, I shared a Ben Shapiro post, but it kind of reminds me of Ben Shapiro. It's like Ben Shapiro is very, very conservative and Republican until it's like a very key moment for Donald Trump or a very key moment for the Republican movement. Then all of a sudden, Ben Shapiro like throws Donald Trump under the bus. He's like, yeah, he should probably be impeached, or, it's just like, it really just raises my concerns because I still support Shapiro. I think he's interesting, and I think he's, I like when he says the truth, and I'll share that regardless. But when you turn on a dime like that, you're just like, whoa, where did that come from? And I don't expect Ben Shapiro to agree with everything I say. I don't expect Jordan Peterson to agree with everything I say, but there's certain things, just like, with me, I make mistakes sometimes, but there's certain things that are just factually not true. Like I see Ben Shapiro once a month say something that's factually not true. So if your message is facts don't care about your feelings, and you're out there shilling for Democrats half the time, not half the time, but a lot of times he's ready to throw Trump under the bus for a mainstream media talking point that doesn't make sense. I've caught him multiple times doing that, Ben Shapiro. I'm just like, what? And same with Jordan Peterson. It's like, I get that you don't like Kavanaugh. I get that you might feel a certain way. I get that you don't agree with me. I get that you might be wrong, and I get that you might be right in your own way. I'm really not judgmental, but this really makes me see Jordan Peterson in a different light. I'm not off the Jordan Peterson bandwagon. I'm not trying to throw dirt on his name. None of that stuff, because people do that to me too. I mess up, I slip up one time, and people try to ruin my life or whatever. So I'm not trying to do that, but I really don't understand where Jordan Peterson's coming, because his whole thought process through this is Kavanaugh should step down because it might be less divisive for the left. He's like, he wants to kowtow to the left, but his whole career is not kowtowing to the left. Someone said, I agree with Jordan Peterson. That's fine. It's all perspective. It's all agree to disagree. You don't have to agree with me, but just me as a consumer, as somebody who's seen Jordan Peterson speak and, very, interested, and I've always gone to bat for him. I have to be honest. I don't understand where he's coming from here, and he's explaining how he feels this way, and he thinks it's because it's better for the left. He thinks it might decrease, polarization, but his whole career is off of not doing that, not being that person who kowtows. So I'm just very, very skeptical of Jordan Peterson's politics. I like his psychology. I'm skeptical of his politics, and even other big Republicans who every now and then just do some weird stuff. But on the whole, overall, I do want to say, unlike other people, I give people the benefit of the doubt. And I do think it's healthy for people to disagree, be wrong sometimes, be right sometimes, and have debates. I don't think every conservative or every key figure should be 100% agree on everything. I think that's totally normal. But I'm just interested, just as many are. I'm not quick to throw someone under the bus, but I don't know, man. This is a really weird look for JP, and a lot of people did it. I mean, I think his tweet had like 3,000 comments within like an hour or 2 hours, his first one. And most of them were from his fans being like, Jordan, I really don't understand what you're talking about. So I just want to mention that, if you agree with him or you agree with me, that's all good. I'm not trying to hate too hard or anything. I just as a person too, I don't like, I guess to wrap it up, the reason why I'm even saying this is I don't like when people gang up on somebody that's being like targeted. I had an interview with Jordan Sather, who's big on the Q movement and all that stuff. I'm all cool with people doing the Q thing and reading into that, decoding and doing research. I don't hate on the Q thing, but what really bothered me, why I wanted to have a talk with Jordan Sather, was because he was using Q information, which didn't say anything like this, to start attacking Alex Jones when Alex Jones lost all his platforms. So it's like you're having Trump supporters and Q supporters gang up on Alex Jones, who's literally been doing Q information for 10 years. I don't like to see people gang up on people who are already getting targeted. So I had a conversation with Jordan Sather and tried to talk to the Q community. Do your Q thing. I support you guys. I support the movement, but not if you're going to shift that energy and try to destroy good people. And to be honest, it's the same with Jordan Peterson. I'm not hating on him, but I feel like this is a key moment for Brett Kavanaugh. And you're allowed to have an opinion and a perspective, but for Jordan Peterson to tell him to step down, Jordan Peterson is one of the biggest voices in the world as far as intellectuals. So now at a pivotal moment for Brett Kavanaugh, you have Jordan Peterson basically ganging up against him with the Democrats saying, no, you should step down. When, because it would be less polarizing and the left would feel better about it. When Jordan Peterson's whole career is off of not kowtowing to the left, it's beyond just an opinion at this point. I just feel like I like to call people out, even on the right, when they use their power and their energy to basically gang up on somebody who's already being targeted. When Alex Jones is losing all his platforms, it's not the best time to try to gang up and destroy his life. I'm just being honest, especially when you're researching information that Alex has been talking about for 10 years, like the Q people. And then when Jordan Peterson, how would he like it? I'm just thinking, how would he like it if he was being told to step down from his university and being told to step down from speaking tours, and all of top Trump supporters said, you know what, he should step down because, if Jordan Peterson wasn't there, it might be less divisive and the left might feel better about it. To me, I have to say something about it. I'm not hating on JP, but when he turns on someone like this at a key time, it really just makes you question like what his true ideology is, because this goes against all of what he basically has went around the country preaching. So just saying that stuff. Thank you guys for joining. Sorry I'm a little under the weather today, but I still wanted to let you guys know. Kavanaugh has been confirmed. Congratulations to people who are happy. To people who aren't happy, please don't tear down the entire country with a hissy fit. Try to make a convincing and compelling argument, show evidence and facts, instead of trying to ruin someone's life and destroy everybody who disagrees with you. The second story is Dr. Ford has decided to drop her allegation pursuit against Kavanaugh. So as soon as he's confirmed, now all of a sudden, they don't care about the pursuit of justice. Interesting. And the third story was Jordan Peterson at the peak moment for Brett Kavanaugh tells him to step down because Jordan Peterson now thinks that leftists would feel better about it if Brett Kavanaugh stepped down, which is also very, very interesting. Thank you guys so much for joining. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the world. And God bless the Supreme Court. Hopefully they do a good job, Kavanaugh and the others, to do what's right for everyone, regardless of if it goes liberal or conservative. We'll see. This was a weird, wacky 2 weeks. Hopefully another hysteria isn't around the corner, but knowing the way the media operates, as soon as this one dies out, they're going to find another one that includes women, children, victims, other countries, and it'll be a nonstop loop of basically insanity until enough people are just like, enough is enough. I don't know when this is going to end, but I'm going to try to enjoy my weekend. Hopefully you guys do too. Have a good day.